reverse this misunderstanding and know that we actually will obtain more production from happy people. We will obtain more obedient children when they're happy. We will obtain better performance from students who are happy. We will have less crime from happy people. And that the creation of happiness should not be conditioned. This should be stated as one of our primary universal rights as human beings, personally and collectively. We need to learn in ourselves to make that choice. A lot of things can happen in the course of a day, in the course of a life, that can get us down momentarily. And all we have to do is look at the cause and say, all right, there's a cause, and maybe there's something I have to deal with, but I don't have to do it unhappily. Just in saying that, in making that choice, you gain an inner courage and an inner strength to be in the midst of your problem, knowing that you're bigger than it is. It's just a momentary passing thing. Some of the greatest people who have ever contributed to the human race found their conviction by discovering happiness in the midst of horrible conditions. Perhaps it was in a Nazi prison camp. Perhaps it was in the gutters of Delhi. Perhaps it was in a war situation where your buddy had just been blown to pieces and he saved your life. The reason these profound convictions occur is because we are restored to our certainty of who we are when we understand that our happiness is unconditional. You bet we took a nosedive into experience. We jumped into it with both feet and grabbed it with both hands. And that's for the learning. Who knows why we choose some of the things we choose? Who knows how we'll work our way out of it in a causal or effectual way? But in the midst of it, if you just simply choose happiness, the answer is provided. I have seen people heal themselves from the most threatening illnesses by simply choosing happiness. In the midst of the inevitable, final, last moments, people have miraculously recovered. They've gone into surgery and a tumor is gone, or some other miraculous event has happened by just simply choosing not to resist the illness. When we do this, when we choose our happiness, there's another thing that we choose, and that is our connection with a higher source, a higher power that is above and beyond this limited physical experience we have. This is not about religion in any way. However you define the higher power, when you know that your happiness comes from this unconditional place, you know that your life is greater than the mortal plane. And your existence exists beyond it. One of the big mistakes we make in life is that we play follow the leader. A story that I am going to borrow now from my all-time favorite speaker, Earl Nightingale, is a story about the processionary caterpillars. And these were actually studied by entomologists. They noticed that if you put a ring of processionary caterpillars right on the edge of a flower pot, they will follow each other around, and the flower pot is full of delicious edible greens of the type that the caterpillars eat. And the processionary caterpillars keep following each other until they die, never noticing that the greens that would save them are in the center of the pot. This is how we get into replicative, follow the leader patterns that are not constructive. Friends, if something isn't working, examine it. Just step back and say, you know, it's been too long since I've been happy. What's wrong with this picture? Trust me about this. This you can believe. If it's been too long since you've known happiness, something's wrong with that picture. I don't know what's wrong. That's for you to decide in the context of what you're experiencing. But if you can't remember the last time you were happy, you need to step back and take a look at what's going on. You need to take a look at who you're imitating or who has told you to behave in a certain way, and examine that particular way. You need to make some new choices. And these choices are simple. Very simple. It could be as simple as, I don't like what I've been eating lately. And then you just go to the grocery store or to the restaurant, however, whatever your preference is, and take a new look at the options. Life is full of endless opportunities. And it just amazes me how when I talk to students, so often they remind me of the processionary caterpillars. They give me this, but I don't have any opportunities. I keep doing the same thing, and the same old thing keeps coming up for me, and the same thing happens for me. And the simple thing is, if you're doing the same thing, obviously the same thing will happen. Do something different. Just do anything different. It could be breaking the simplest of habits. Instead of brushing your teeth twice a day, brush them 3 times a day. Break any habit. It's amazing how much breaking one little habit will get you to thinking about the others. Maybe right off the bat, you're not going to find the real culprit, the real thing that's got its grip on you. But you'll get to it if you allow yourself to be a free being, making new choices about just simple, practical things in life. Instead of going to the same restaurant, go to another one. Instead of calling the same friend, call another one. Go somewhere else on a vacation. Okay, let's just say you love this place and you've been there every year for 20 years. How about trying something new? At the very least, ask yourself, are the choices I'm making in life resulting in happiness? Not only is happiness a direct choice, it's the result of other choices you make or that you've already made. So as you make your choices every day, is the choice I'm making going to result in happiness?